Trion Worlds, free-to-play strategy game Atlas Reactor, is closing down in just a couple months' time. The developer made the announcement on the game's website today, noting that costs now outweigh income for the 2016 release and that the game can no longer sustain itself. Current plans see the game remaining online until June 28, but Trion Worlds notes that could be subject to change. Despite the support of this great group of fans, Atlas Reactor never grew big enough to fund its continued development, said Trion's former chief project manager and current development VP at Trion parent company Miguel Mervin Kwai. It's a shame to see this chapter come to a close, but perhaps we will have a chance to revisit the innovative spirit of Atlas in the future. Already, Trion Worlds has halted the real money sale of in-game items, rolled out new ways to acquire items that previously required premium currency, and increased rates for XP on the in-game currency gain. Valve has opened up the use of a handful of APIs to partnered Steam developers, granting them tools geared toward better multiplayer play. Developers can find a full rundown of exactly what Valve has offered up in a Steamworks post. But in short, the release grants access to Valve's own network infrastructure and additional tools, like the Steam Networking Utils API and Steam Networking Sockets API. With these tools at their disposal, Valve says devs should be able to offer faster and more secure connections to those playing multiplayer games using Valve's network. For example, anonymized traffic and protects game servers and clients from DDoS attacks, and ultimately makes it more difficult for external forces to disrupt gameplay. Valve also notes that this setup can improve ping time experienced by players and says that 43% of players saw an improvement in ping time under this system. The Steam Networking Utils API offers devs tools for estimating pings, something explained in the full post, and the Steam Networking Sockets API acts as a general-purpose transport library for games, and has features geared towards encryption and authentication, as well as fragmentation, reassembly, and retransmission, both of which are also available in the open-source version of the API. Valve says that this is the first of several updates it has planned to help Steam devs improve their networked games. Specifically, while this update has primarily improved peer-to-peer networking, we are also working on making the solutions we have developed for our own dedicated service available to partners, says the post. Newsbrief. Capcom's stylish action effort Devil May Cry 5 has sold 2 million copies in 2 weeks, as spotted by VentureBeat. Game director Hideaki Itsuno broke the news during his talk at DD. The ZD title launched on March 8, a Red One, PlayStation 4, and Windows PC, and is already on track to outpace its predecessor Devil May Cry 4, which only surpassed 3 million sales after 8 years on shelves, almost exactly 1 year ago. I wrote an article about how crazy it is to try to compete with Steam, so you want to compete with Steam. If you have not read that yet, give it a quick skim. Competing head-on with an entrenched market leader is called Red Ocean strategy, because it's like a feeding frenzy of sharks, all tearing each other apart to get at the same piece meat. Now, I am not saying nobody should compete against Steam. What I am saying is that taking on the top shark is fraught with peril, and nearly every company that's tried so far has repeated the same fatal mistakes. Steam has reigned supreme for over 15 years for a reason, but recent rumblings suggest things are about to change. My third annual developer survey suggests that developer support for Valve's 30% share just hit an all-time low. This sentiment is consistent regardless of developer size, wealth, and geographic location. A few high-profile bugs and glitches have undermined many developers' confidence in Steam's discovery algorithms. Not being screwed by the algorithm was listed as the #1 concern in my survey. Valve changed their revenue share, but only for games earning $10 m. AAA publishers including Activision, Ubisoft, and Bethesda have followed in the footsteps of these Origin and Blizzard's battle.net in withholding their content from Steam in favor of platforms where they have more control. Yes, I know Activision and Blizzard are part of the same company. My point is Blizzard games have always been exclusive to Battle.net, but now we are starting to see Activision titles there as well. The new challengers are some quick personal disclosures. Each of these obviously biases me, rather than failing neutrality, or doubling down on my own opinion. I am trying to make my biases as transparent as possible here, and in my analysis below, I will do my best to consider things from perspectives other than my own. With that out of the way, let's take these 4 stores through their paces, and see if they have learned from those who have tried and failed before. In American football, you do not win by gaining yards, you win by scoring points. Even if yards are how you get there. In the games business, victory points are measured in terms of sales and customers. Here's a list of fun things that should not be confused with victory points. These accomplishments can all be part of a balanced winning the game breakfast. But do not brag about your yards until you have made the touchdowns. Is all I am saying. Okay. So you need to sell some games. That means you need developers and publishers to sign up, so you can have something to sell, and then you need customers to show up and buy those games. Trouble is, these groups do not want the same things. As I said, in stores versus developers versus customers versus publishers, it's far too easy for analysts like me to elevate one stakeholder's viewpoint above all others. In my social media bubble, the default point of view is that of developers, particularly indies. There's nothing wrong with this particular perspective. But you are here because you want to compete with Steam, and that means balancing all parties' interests while still looking out for your own. The blinders have to come off. Therefore, one criterion for judging each of the new Steam competitors is how well they appeal to each stakeholder group, not just to me as an individual. The Epic Games Store is backed by Epic Games, developer of not only the mega-hit Fortnite, but also the long string of hits stretching back decades, from the more recent Gears of War and Unreal series, all the way back to Jackrabbit and Zite. From the dawn of PC gaming, these are the same folks who make the Unreal Engine, a general-purpose cross-platform game engine positioned as a high-octane rival to Unity 3D. Epic announced their store on December 4th,
2018,
offering an 88 WLFTHS revenue share split across the board, regardless of earnings. Furthermore, Epic is waiving the normal 5% revenue share for Unreal Engine games sold through the Epic Store. They are also giving away a free game every 2 weeks on the service, and have secured exclusivity for many high-profile titles. Oh, and they own the 200 million-strong Fortnite audience, which translates to some unknown number of registered Epic Games user accounts and client installs. But it's safe to say it's in the millions at absolute minimum. Epic is the clear heavyweight in this fight, with multiple built-in advantages and truckloads of money. They are not to be underestimated. After years of rumors, Discord announced a closed beta of their own game store on August 9th.
2018
which launched publicly on October 16.
2018
The new star joins Discord's extremely popular chat service, which players overwhelmingly favor over other solutions, such as Skype, TeamSpeak, Ventrilo, and even Valve's own built-in Steam Chat. Discord's chat service boasts 130 million registered users as of May 15.
2018
For context, Steam itself has, as for growth, Steam added 27 million paying users between 2016 to 2018, January 10.
2018
As near as I can tell, Discord originally offered the Euro 70/30 split, but on December 14, 2018 they changed this to 90/10 in apparent reaction to Epic's 88 TWLFTHS offering.